Scottie Scheffler. You know me in the sports. Do I have it wrong?
Okay.
The golf Scheffler, the golf champion.
I'm not a golf guy. I don't know.
Look at this. I got nothing here. I'm talking to two like intellectuals. And Moynihan would not help here either.
Man, we got other sports.
No, he doesn't know golf either. But basketball, football, I'm your guy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, golf is a sport too. And
it is.
This guy, Scottie Scheffler, is very popular and very successful in his accomplishments. I'm going to tell you all the stuff that he's done in 1 second. He's number one in the world, just in case you didn't know that, which I didn't. He's 29, three-time major champion, has won the Masters twice and the PGA Championship this year. He's looking to inch closer to the career Grand Slam at the Open this week at Royal Portrush. 16-time PGA Tour winner, and he's been the number one ranked golfer for over 100 weeks. So it's crazy. Like, I don't think you can get any more accomplished in the world of golf. And he just gave a press conference. I saw this on X, and it's rare that I sit and I watch like the whole 4-minute clip of somebody I don't know at all. I was fascinated by what he said. I'm going to play you part of it, and you'll see why I was.
It feels like you work your whole life to celebrate winning a tournament for like a few minutes. It only lasts a few minutes, that kind of euphoric feeling. It's like, okay, now what are we going to eat for dinner? You know, life goes on. I love the challenge. I love being able to play this game for a living. It's one of the greatest joys of my life, but does it fill the deepest, wants and desires of my heart? Absolutely not. That's why I talk about families being my priority, because it really is. I'm blessed to be able to come out here and play golf, but if my golf ever started affecting my home life, or it ever affected the relationship I have with my wife or with my son, that's going to be the last day that I play out here for a living. This is not the be all end all. This is not the most important thing in my life. And that's why I wrestle with, why is this so important to me? Because, I would much rather be a great father than I would be a great golfer.
He went on,
Amen.
Right? And he was talking about how, you work all day. You're out here on the course all day, the links, whatever, and you're practicing. You get up early in the morning. My wife always says thank you to me when I go, because she knows I'm really putting it all out there for the family. And then you win, and you're like, yay. He really talked about how winning's great, but it's really not that great. Like, you make such sacrifice. You put so much effort into getting the win. When you get it, there is that moment of euphoria, but then it's quickly over. He's like, so I won. I can't remember which tournament, but one of them. And he's like, and everybody's like, yeah, and you're hugging. And then that night, we went out and like watched a movie, or we went out to dinner. It's like, and then you're right back. The questions that come your way immediately are, what are you gonna do for the next one? Like, can you do the next one? Like, what's gonna have the next one? I could totally understand what he's saying. I'm not an athlete, but it reminded me a little bit of back when I practiced law. And you would kill yourself getting ready for this big trial. It's like the Super Bowl of law. And I mean, night and day with no sleep and like years that way. And then you'd try the case, and yes, you would win. I lost one, but we got it reversed on appeal. Any event. So it was all net, it was all wins. And you'd be so thrilled at having the W. And you would go out and celebrate that night. And then the next day it's just done. It's done. But the pain of losing was so acute and would weigh on you for weeks, it so far outweighed the joy of winning. And I've never heard a professional athlete just be so honest about it and just get like really real about how that high is a bit of a false god. And what's real is sitting in your living room.
Yeah. I mean, and you mentioned his age. I don't remember how old you said he was. It sounds so sub 30. He's fortunate to have figured it out so early. I don't know that most people do. I mean, I think we are people of privilege. We live, pretty extraordinary lives in many respects. We get to talk to really prominent people in all kinds of public context, occasionally come in for controversy, but we've been able to do a lot of stuff. Before I had kids, my wife and I visited every continent, including Antarctica, and done all kinds of cool crap. But what I've come to realize, and I think the knowledge I have that other people don't, having already done a lot of the bucket list stuff that I could have imagined before we had kids, is the most important thing I do every day is like wake up and try to be a great husband and try to be a great father. And that doesn't mean I don't care about other things, but I've put those things into the right context. I think my daughter and my son really helped crystallize what my priorities are, like my marriage and my own kind of personal happiness and my ability to be present in any given moment. And we used to have one of those posters in the office that said something like, it's not the destination, it's the journey. And I hated it for years. I was like, I want to win. But I have come around to completely understanding it. Like it is those quiet moments. The best moments of my life are those quiet moments or not so quiet moments where everyone is in the bed together for 15 or 20 minutes. And to be able to recognize it in that moment is an extraordinary privilege. And we don't do it enough. We're consumed with politics. We're consumed with career advancement or the next thing that we want to do. And we forget that the moment you achieve the great thing you've been thinking about, you're immediately thinking about, okay, what's next? What other thing am I striving for? Just things, however things are in your life right now, it could be so much worse. And it may be. Like eventually the void is screaming out for all of us. But we have this moment to be present, to be grateful. And I love that. I mean, it's such a great sentiment. I don't really watch golf, but I'm an instant fan of his.
Yeah, same. Because you look at those kids, like I think about my kids when they were babes in their cribs and they smell so good and they're so happy to see you in the morning going to get them. You've already won. This is daily winning, the W's staring you in the face. It's not to say you shouldn't have any professional ambition. It's just when you have that satisfaction, that true real love and joy, it's like everything else is kind of gravy. I'm not even sure if you can get the high from winning on the golf course or whatever. Now, in my case, in the ratings or whatever God you're chasing, once you know what really matters, right? It's like that fulfillment is up here. Maybe you can bump up a degree or two, but I don't know. Even people who don't have kids, Matt, I think can recognize the disappointment of chasing something that's kind of false, whether it's an Oscar in Hollywood or a trophy in sports, not to undermine the whole process and the discipline and, being great at something, but like the win isn't necessarily all it's cracked up to be.
First of all, I need to take credit. I was badgering Kmele Foster to have kids for a very long time.
That's true.
Pro-natalist on the Fifth Column podcast.
It's true.
I love how kids don't have any idea what you do for a living. Not what you do, Megyn. In particular, my 17-year-old knows exactly what you do for a living.
I love her.
Dad, you were on Megyn Kelly? I seen it on TikTok.
You're like, that's why I put up with this abuse.
Basically. But there was an interesting interview. We just had the baseball all-star game, which was really terrific this week in Atlanta, where it had been banned by idiots a couple of years ago. But there was an interview with Francisco Lindor, the great Mets shortstop, that was kind of similar. A reporter just like, what is your motivation to go out there every day? Just a little 30-second clip. I recommend looking at it. And he's like, you kind of gave an Allen Iverson almost, like motivation. But like, no, it's not about motivation. It's about work ethic. Motivation is like, is temporary. It lasts for a while. It's on your shoulder, makes you think to do a thing. But to do the grind every single day, to pursue a consistent level of excellence, to be the best at what you do, that takes a lot of discipline, and it takes work ethic and kind of long-term thinking. And that way you're much more at peace, actually, about whether you win and where you lose. Did you put in your best effort? Great. And then if you have some kidlets around who don't even know that you play baseball or host a podcast or do whatever, it's incredibly rewarding. You feel like you've done your best. And if you're fortunate enough, like all of us are in this conversation, to know that work, that attempt to strive for a consistent excellence, and the work ethic that goes into it can contribute to you be able to provide some stability and comfort for your kids to pursue the things that they want to do. It is so satisfying. It's as satisfying as like growing a garden and eating your food. Like, oh man, there's just something elemental about that. And it's not necessarily chasing immediate spike of highs. It's about a long-term, I'm grinding, I'm working, and I'm putting in long hours, but I'm doing it for this reason, and that reason is the true source of the happiness. Yeah.
It's a good reminder, not to get too drawn into, it could be anything in your life, even for like my stay-at-home moms who watch or listen to the show. you're on social media, you make a post, you check it over and over to see how many likes you've gotten. The same false god, as like thinking winning the PGA Tour is going to be the thing that fulfills you, or winning the Oscar, for whatever movie is going to be it's exactly the same thing. We all get sucked into it, and what a great gift he gave us. A great reminder that whether it's this huge goal that everybody in the world, well, most of us have watched and know about, or it's something in your private life that you've prioritized, like getting a raise or getting a new job title or getting a social media like, or whatever, getting the right invitation to the right, cocktail parties. They're all false. They're not going to do the thing for you that you're looking for. Really, look inside your living room. That's where the answer is. Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a breakneck pace. But don't forget, while they're moving mountains for the good of the nation, you've got your own personal savings to worry about. And one of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with gold, like from Birch Gold Group. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. OMG. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by buying in record quantities. Global instability and tension is high, and Birch Gold makes owning physical gold extremely easy. Easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or buy some to store in your home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898, and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of your savings today. Text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.